right, welcome to a brand new episode of Die or Die. We're changing it up. My name is John Polnik. We are recording right here in the Container Park along with my partner, Duane Wik from Wik's Garage. Duane.
Hey.
Happy
good to
have you in the studio, my brother.
It's so good to be back, JP. You know, we did a kind of a podcast thing on Instagram Live for a long time, and I miss it. So I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to be talking to you, and I'm ready to have some fun.
This is going to be a regular thing. We did start a regular podcast during the pandemic. But we had a podcast. If those of you who are familiar with Die or Die, we used to have the Die studio in the downtown arts district.
Yes.
Now we're in the Container Park here in the downtown arts. We're not really in the arts district. We're in downtown Las Vegas.
It's nearby. It's close enough.
Arts district adjacent. We're right out of. If you've ever been to downtown Las Vegas and you've been to Fremont Street, you've probably seen the big flaming praying mantis. But,
yes.
Right?
We're into flaming bugs down here. So come on down. Join us.
Mostly into flaming each other because the Die or Die podcast is about Die or Die, right? Because Duane is an expert on Porsches.
Well, yeah. I wouldn't go that far, but you know, I was thinking, JP, since we talk a lot about Porsches, you've owned Porsches for a long, long time. You've had dozens, if not, I don't know, dare I say 100 Porsches. You've had 911s.
Dozens.
Plural, we'll go with dozens.
I'm certainly not at hundreds, but certainly dozens.
You've had a lot. You've had way more than me. Let's put it that way. But recently, you kind of swapped it up a little bit. You had an amazing 993. You had another 993, and then you threw caution to the wind. You bought an Audi. What in the world?
Good Lord.
I have to disown you.
I mean, most people are probably tuning out right now. They're probably going, screw this show. I thought this was a Porsche show. I thought these people knew Porsches and that the host of the show has an Audi. Okay, for the record, I still do have a Porsche. I have a Macan GTS. I know, lame. That's also kind of an Audi.
It's a great car. Oh, it is. You're right. It's got the Audi guts.
It's a great car. It's not a Porsche. Not a Porsche.
A what?
How dare you?
It's not a what now, Mental? Introducing our engineer for the show, Mental. That's actually what we call him. Mental, you want to explain why?
It's an SUV. You might as well just be taking the kids.
No, we're talking about your name, not the SUV.
Why do they call you Mental? Maybe that's why.
Why do they call you Mental?
Leftover Air Force call sign.
No, that's not even kind. I was hoping for something more, I don't know,
a little more descriptive.
Yeah. I'm happy to tell the whole story, but this is about you. This is about you and your knowledge of Porsches.
Right.
So let me put it this way. So I asked you, I said, JP, why are you driving an Audi? I mean, what do you think of this car? Is this just like a temporary kind of, foray into the dark side, or what's going on with this Audi? And what is it exactly?
So I had a Porsche 993 cab for probably 12 years, something like that. And it wasn't just any cab. It was my 993 cab was pretty modded, right? And I'm not a purist. Everything from full suspension coilovers and exhaust and just about everything you could do short of swapping the engine. I mean, that was about the only thing that was original in the car.
And that's the car that I met you. That's the car that you had when I met you.
Yeah.
In fact, I believe the first time I saw you, you were coming up on the freeway behind me. We were both headed to the same car show or whatever.
Yeah.
And I see a 993 coming up fast, and you blew by me. We met up at the show, and it's an amazing car. And when I talked to you at that point, you're like, "This is a keeper. This is something I'm going to keep forever." You sold it.
So I do another podcast called Bid Nerds, and you know that Bid Nerds. Yeah. My partner Michael Deeb and I, we talk about the most interesting car of the day from like Bring a Trailer and Cars and Bids and P-Car Market. And so we really pay close attention to what the market's doing. And anybody that's paid any attention has noticed over the last couple of years, the air-cooled cars have just gone kind of nuts. But look, the thing about the cab, and I am sick over it. Like just sitting here actually talking. I've been avoiding
Sorry
talking
to bring
about
it up.
this. Yeah, thanks for nothing. I've been avoiding talking about this for a long time because I regretted it the moment I did it, and everyone said I would, and you always hear that. But
I was shocked when I heard that you sold it. I was beside myself because I was like, I really thought that was the one, because you're known kind of here in Vegas as someone who does go through a lot of different cars. I mean, that's part of the fun of life, right? As you get to experience all these different cars, and you do it well. You know, you find cars. I don't know if I want to call you a flipper, but you're strategic in how you position the next car in your life. And that
I
car,
appreciate
thought,
not calling me a flipper because I'm not, right?
you're
I mean,
not.
I'm not.
You're really
yeah,
not.
I try to find cars that I really enjoy. I have fun fixing them up, or sometimes modding them, driving them for a while. Sometimes I keep them longer, sometimes not so much. But it's a great kind of hobby in order to experience lots of Porsches. That's why I've had lots of Porsches. It's
absolutely.
fun, right? Our good friend in LA, the professor, he likes to say, they're like Pringles. More is better.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but the 993 cab that I had really was the car that was built for me. I did so much work to it, and really personalized it. And okay, so, we've been drinking here while we've been getting ready for this podcast.
A little bit.
I am one of those people, like, I just defend convertibles.
Right.
I'm a convertible
I'm the
apologist, right? But I'm always the first person. Like, okay, here's a conversation that you've probably had with your car buddies, not just Porsche buddies, but manual versus PDK, right? That's like, how many times have you had that conversation? And it's just like, God, it's an old conversation.
It is,
right?
Yep. Beating a dead horse.
It really is. And I don't want to get into that. But I certainly am the guy that's constantly defending convertibles, and I still do.
And you actually have done that online, because I remember making a snide comment on the Porsche 911 air-cooled Facebook page.
Sure.
And, there's 64,000 people on there, right?
Yeah.
JP responds to my message defending Cabriolets, and I'm like, oh, shit, I forgot that JP could see this snide comment about Cabriolets.
You get used to it when you drive a cab. And my particular cab drove as well as almost any coupe. I have a theory. I talked about it on my television show. And we got you over there. Mental is giving me notes.
Well,
we did tell him to like give us notes and everything like that. So after this really quick break, we'll talk about those notes after this.
Yeah, we'll find out after this.
All right. Hey guys, I'm super excited to tell you about our sponsor, Guys Customs. That's Guys, GYX _customs. That's how you spell it. Guys Customs bracelets. These things are amazing. Check them out. They're handmade in America, custom bracelets made to match your watch or your car. These things are unbelievable. I have 3 or 4 of them myself. My partner Michael Deeb has a bunch of them. They're pretty addictive once you get one. Each one of them are bespoke. We're talking carbon fiber. We're talking titanium. We're talking stainless steel, glass. There's none of this cheap Chinese garbage that you see a lot of bracelets being made out there. These ones are super high quality. They're made right here in America. When you go to Guys Customs on Instagram, it's about the only place that you can order one of these. When you DM the artist, you're actually reaching the real artist when you DM Guys Customs at Instagram. And she will make you a bracelet made to match that special watch, that special car, or that special person that has a special watch or a special car and they want something really, really cool in their life. They make the most amazing gifts. I get compliments on mine all the time. Everywhere I go, people are like, wow, that's really cool. You can see in the pictures, these beads, the colored beads are PTS. They're paint to sample. So if you have a specific color code for your car, she'll have beads made that are specifically painted to match your car. or your watch. It's unbelievable. You got to get one of these Guys Customs bracelets. Check them out. They support us, and we really, really, really want to support them. Guys Customs bracelets. Okay, so here's the thing about convertibles. I've got a theory about it. I talked about it on my television show, Porsche Road Trip, that's available on Pluto TV on demand, or PorscheRoadTripTV.com. You can see all 8 episodes of season 1.
I'm in one.
And you can see my partner Duane Wik in one of those. Hey,
watch that one.
Yeah, check out Duane Wik's YouTube channel too while you're at it. Wik's Garage on YouTube channel, and go ahead and hit subscribe and like on his channel. And when you're done, come back here and hit the subscribe and like button so you can kind of keep up with the nerd stuff that we nerd out on the Die podcast. But here's the thing: I have a theory about cabs. It's like dogs and cats, right? There's dog people and there's cat people.
Sure.
And I think that if people automatically, they'll just like jump right at you.
Cabs are cat people, right?
See? And the answer is no. Cabs are not cat people.
Okay.
And it's not.
Please explain.
It's not about whether or not you prefer cats or dogs. It's about whether or not you're more like a cat or a dog. A cat, if you've ever been around a cat. You have really
thought about this.
I really have. Way too much
metaphor.
time. Way too much time.
Okay.
Spent a lot of time driving around the country and not had
Deep
anything to do. So a cat, if you give a cat like a box or a Pringles tube or anything small, a cat will climb into it and peer out at the world from inside that small thing. Cats love small, confined spaces.
Right. They need that sense of security around them to kind of.
Is that what it is? Is it security?
For me, are we talking why I love?
Well, no. I'm asking about the cats. We're talking about cats now. What is a cat like?
I don't know.
I don't know why cats like small spaces. I have no idea. I'm not a cat. I'm not even a cat person. But that's the thing about cats is they get into these tight little small spaces and they peer out at the world. And that's what being a coupe is like. What does a dog do when you stick a dog in a car? If you roll the window down, the dog sticks his head out the window.
Okay. I gotcha.
Dogs are idiots.
No, they're fun-loving.
They're dumb. Dogs are dumb. Dogs are stupid.
Okay.
I love dogs. I'm a dog person, and I am more like a dog than I am a cat. Cat's pretty smart, right?
No.
The dog, but you put
I
a dog
completely
in
disagree
a car,
with everything you're saying. But go on.
A dog gets in a car, and if you roll the window down, the dog is going to stick his head out the window.
Sure.
Right? The dog wants to experience everything.
Short attention span, though. I see what you're saying. Like they want to be sticking their head out the window and they want to
experience
be a part of the
everything.
world. Yeah.
They want to be around their people.
A cat is content to just sit over in the corner from here until eternity.
Right.
Yeah.
A cat is like down with themselves because they're a cat and they're smart and they're like, whatever, I'm going to do my cat thing. Dogs.
And how that relates to cabriolets, I'm still.
Because a cab doesn't have a roof. A cab means you're connected to everything that's outside. A cab means you're not confined into this little small space. If I hear one more a-hole say that a Porsche is a visceral experience, Porsches are visceral. They're visceral, man.
It's a little overused. We'll put it that way. Yeah.
Effing article uses the word visceral, right? Mental? Visceral. It's a visceral experience. Okay. If you use the word.
What comes to me now is you can hear the engine.
Yeah. There's no air conditioning. That's key word for visceral.
Like,
there's no AC.
With your effing visceral. All right. If you want a visceral experience, not having a roof is
the ultimate.
Way more visceral than having one. Period.
But then you lose your hearing. I mean, this is the thing. Porsches are about, well, for me, they are about their racing history. That's one of the main reasons why we love Porsche. Cabriolets don't race. Enough said, right? You got to have a coupe.
Does an F1 car have a roof?
Oh, I don't know, man. It has the halo. The halo.
Does it have a roof?
That's different. Come on, man. That's different.
I turned the sound down, but I did actually hear JP just drop his mic.
So F1 is
Does an Indy car have a
completely
roof?
Different animal.
What race cars have roofs?
Listen, man.
NASCAR.
The 917,
NASCAR has
the 917, the 904, they all have roofs. Okay, all the group, all the Group 4 race cars, safari cars, they all have roofs. They're all coupes, if you will. So
And are any of those races considered
Cabriolets
the top at the pinnacle of racing?
are heavier. Okay, they have to reinforce the body to they're flex like a mofo, as you know. So they're not designed to be a race car. They're designed to be a luxury car, which is everything on my 911 is from a standpoint of weight savings and minimalism, right? A folding roof is the antithesis of minimalism. It's excessive. So I think that's the philosophy that you ran into. But you were saying that you actually felt peer pressure.
I did.
Okay.
I felt so. I mean, it's rubbish that. I mean, okay, yes, the convertible top, the folding top thing, is a little bit heavy, but that's not really what makes cabs heavy. It's the reinforcement to the
it's
body
everything.
that typically makes it more heavy. But I mean, do you take your car on the track? Do you not take your car on the track? I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't. But if you okay, how many times have you taken your car on the track?
0.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And
But it's more about the philosophy. It's more about like honoring the ideology of Porsche and like minimalism and lightness and race history.
right.
So I think
But
that's where my standpoint comes from. Now, would I love to ride around in a cab? Yeah.
Sides. Okay. I
Go
hate
ahead.
to
Take
on
sides.
But JP's actually convincing me, and using your argument of minimalism,
Mhm.
I have one word: speedster.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the Speedster's a great car, and the Speedster is legendary in Porsche 911.
Lore.
Lore. Thank you. So, I mean, like I said, would I turn down a ride in a cab because I'm that snotty? No, of course not. I mean, I think they're
but here's
fantastic. Like I love a Targa. I love
Okay, but do you? So here's
a
the thing,
Speedster.
and that's where the rubber hits the road because
Mhm.
my particular cab was better than most stock coupes. I don't, all the flexing and stuff, like all the work that I did, the suspension and strut tower braces and all that stuff. It was way more neutral than almost any, even a lot of modded 911s. But
Yeah.
that's neither here nor there. The fact is, when you talk to most people who say, "Okay, do you prefer a coupe over a cab?"
Mhm.
The people that say, "Oh, I'm a coupe person," 90% of them hate cabs. Not just like prefer a coupe. They're
Right,
like,
it's not
"Oh,
just
cabs.
preferential.
I'm a coupe person." It's like, oh God, shut. Right, and those are usually the pleated pants guys that never do anything. They don't go on the track. They don't drive fast on the street. They don't do any. They're just like, they want to look at the car and they're,
It's just a straight up bias.
It's just full blown smug. Right.
I mean, I have fallen into that category, to be honest with you, because I think it's what I tried to do with my car was take out all the luxury, heavy American stuff like AC and radios and stuff like that. And the Cabriolet falls into that category for me. Like it's a luxury grand touring type vehicle.
You drove my cab. Was it a luxury grand touring
No,
car?
I mean, obviously yours was more like a speedster.
Right.
It was a sports car, but I'm saying in general.
Okay. So, but coupe people usually typically hate cabs. Most people
True.
that prefer cabs also like coupes. I don't have a damn problem with coupes. Coupes are freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Because I typically am not much of a track guy, I rather enjoy the experience. There's nothing, I mean, there's a, whatever.
And that is the thing. Like, I'm not going on the track. Most people aren't. And the fact that a Cabriolet flexes slightly more makes zero difference in the day-to-day driving, as well as
most of the people
everything
that
else
say that
pretty
will
much.
never drive the car to any car to a point where the flexibility of the chassis means a damn bit of anything.
Right.
And there are some people that will, and I get that. And that's fine. I don't have a problem with people who prefer coupes. I don't have a problem with coupes at all. I love coupes. I just prefer cabs. And what you've been getting at, though, and really what what you're trying to talk about here, is the fact that I felt self-conscious, and I succumbed to the peer pressure I drove. My car was at a million events,
It's
and
it's almost like
it just like it was passed over because it was a cab. It's like, what the hell, man?
it's almost like having a guards red car in 2022.
okay.
Like that
Yeah.
is as bad as what you were feeling
Yeah,
because it was such a popular color on a Porsche 911 from 1980 to 1990 or whatever that it became
iconic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it became like, everybody painted their 911 guards red. There's
Yeah.
so many. I just saw another one today. Actually, there's one for sale here in Vegas today that was some other color, but it was painted guards red. But that's become like the hate that cabs get. Similar to that, I should say.
And I think the moral of this story, that the thing I want to put out there is just like, don't just drive the car you want, drive the car you love. Don't be like me. I succumbed to the pressure. And
Can you buy it back?
I don't know. I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, I think I'm gonna reach out to the guy and see.
We never even got. Hey, trade him the Audi. We never even got to the
I'm not
whole
gonna trade him
reason.
the Audi. I mean the Audi. So I have an R8 V10 Spider, and which car is better? The R8 is so much better, but it doesn't matter. The 993. So I didn't, for the record, guys, I didn't trade my 993 cab for an R8. I sold the 993 cab pretty much at the top of the market, right when everything was just bonkers, because I had an opportunity to buy what I thought was going to be my next 15 years.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about the Audi.
No.
Oh.
I bought
the 993.
I bought our mutual friend's
Yeah.
car. I'm not going to say his name, but a very good friend of both of ours. He offered me an amazing opportunity to buy his 1996 C4 993
A
coupe.
really clean 993.
32,000 miles at the time that I bought it, and it was immaculate. Just a beautiful, beautiful car. But it was a C4.
Mm-hmm. That's what they should have used to blow it up with, because C2 all the way.
C2 cab all the way.
Thank you for laughing.
Yes.
Mental. You're welcome to come over and hang out anytime.
Far better than any C4 of any time. I bought the car, loved it, was fully intending for that car to be my future for many, many years. Loved it because it had low miles and it was just fresh. I was like, okay, great. Because my 993 was getting pretty tired too. I'll admit that.
Mm-hmm.
Had 100-something thousand miles on it. I just drove the living daylights out of it, and it was an amazing car. But it never let me down. So I was kind of like, all right, this car's been great. Maybe I should dip out while the getting's good. And I got this fantastic C4 coupe and drove it. I took it on the DWA driving while awesome. Check those guys out if you're not familiar. Went on their Sierra drive and or rally, and it was a great car. But I was just like, man, this whole front diff, all that extra weight in the front, I was just angry. I was freaking angry with that car.
We have a mutual friend who deleted the front transaxle or whatever it is. Yeah, and I was considering doing that on this car, but the car was, because you couldn't. It was so original on 30,000 miles.
Right. If it was a high mileage car or something like that, then absolutely. But this car was way too original, and I wasn't going to chop it up, And so I just decided, you know what, I'm going to cash out on this car too. And the opportunity, I represent an Audi dealership. I make commercials for companies, and long story. I've always had a soft spot for the Audi R8s. Always wanted one, never had one. This one popped up.
It looks
Porsche
like a
Speed Yellow.
Testarossa. Like, if you don't know what an Audi R8 looks like, if you see one fly by and you're not like super, car geek or whatever, you're kind of like, was that a Testarossa? Because it is a cab.
Really?
Yeah, it's got that same square butt, if I recall. Can you throw a picture
I
of
think I
one?
can
Do you
pull
have
a picture of it.
Because
he's talking.
It probably will look nothing like a Testarossa. Doesn't it have like
Test-
some kind of side strakes on it as well? Like,
It does.
see,
but
thank you. It has side strakes.
Yeah, but Testarossa,
And
I don't know. That's a whole other conversation.
What color is it? It's yellow, but what?
It's not just yellow. It's Porsche Speed Yellow. It's actually paint. It's a 2011 V10 Spider. Mental. It is on screen now. You got it up? All right. So this is a terrible picture. This is just a still from the Rami show. Check out the Rami show. Go over there and subscribe and like to that channel as well. But that's my Audi R8 V10. And that car just drives like a supercar, like what you imagined a supercar would be like when you were a kid, but never actually drove anything. The car is telepathic, has just gobs amount of power. I think I call it the best bling for the buck, because there's nothing you can get for that money that really kind of compares to the performance, other than maybe a Corvette. And I'm not driving a C8. There's no amount of money.
That
And
car, I mean, it's like a drive down Las Vegas Boulevard, look at me special is what it is. I mean, that's an attention getting.
It's way too over the top. And that's the thing that I'm like, I love it. I love the sound. I love driving it. But I literally live on Las Vegas Boulevard. And everyone's taking pictures of me when I'm driving around. But it's like, hey, there's a middle-aged guy in a rental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I own this car.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
right, buddy.
Actually, it's my car, really. So I don't know. I'm on the hunt for another air-cooled car. And I feel like if I had an air-cooled car in the garage, I would care less. But right now, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I mean, best of both worlds. If you can keep the R8, then why not? I mean, like you said, it's a joy to drive, and that's huge. I mean, and plus,
you haven't driven one? You haven't?
I have not, and I was going to ask you, like, front to back, like everything on the car is great, right? You don't have any qualms or any like issues with it. Like, does the interior suck, or is there something weird about it that you?
Well, okay. Here's a big admission. I'm sure if anybody's watching, they're going, "Is it a stick or is it Artronic?" And it's an Artronic.
Okay.
If it were a stick, good Lord, it would be
never
just
get
the
rid of it.
greatest car ever. This was not a car I was looking for or searching for. If I was searching for one of these, I would have gotten, would have found a manual. But this car just kind of like wound up finding me. And I didn't really anticipate having it very long, but now that I've gotten used to the Artronic, it's a single clutch. It's not a Tiptronic. It's not a slush box. It's not a torque converter. It's an actual single clutch. So it's like a old Ferrari F1 or an E-gear or whatever. It's very clunky.
Right.
You have to modulate.
You feel those shift gear when it shifts.
You have to modulate the throttle. It's not like a PDK where you can just like floor it, put your foot in, and click through.
Right.
You have to modulate the throttle in order to make the car do what you want, which is kind of more engaging in some ways now that I've gotten used to it. But yeah, there's not the interior is perfect. It's actually, I drive I drive 991 or 991 GT3s all the time, RSs and all. And I was just driving my buddy Rami's AMG GT today. Just all the whiz bang stuff. All the whiz bang stuff, like you said, minimalism. The R8. It's hard to call it a minimalist car, but from a supercar point of view, there's not a lot going on.
Right. I like that.
I mean, does it have power seats? Yeah, but it doesn't have like cooled seats. There's not 50,000 adjustments. The stereo.
There's not a giant iPad in the center console, right?
Yeah.
Does the AMG have like a big screen?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Anything
and there's
Mercedes.
Like blue interior you can change and it lights up and stuff.
Yeah, you're going through the toggle. None of that in the Audi. Yeah, I mean, the Audi you can just get in.
Was that 1 minute left, or was that the bird?
Yeah, I think
he
was giving me the bird.
About the only 8-time consecutive manufacturers champion in F1, Mercedes.
Oh, okay. He was defending Mercedes. Wow, I did not peg
he's
him for
a
a Mercedes
guy over there.
Okay,
and I love Mercedes. But yeah, I don't know. The R8 is a fantastic car. I highly recommend getting one if you ever get a chance. But I need I need an air cooled car in my life. This is the first time in a dozen years
we might see a market
911.
A market downturn. I mean, so maybe there's a
That's
chance
a
you might be
whole
able
other
to get back into
subject,
one.
and you're going to have to tune into either Bid Nerds or another episode of Dur or Die. And I think maybe that's probably a good time to wrap it up and say let's tune in for another episode, and we will talk about the market and what's going on.
Indeed, it is.
But Duane Wik, check out Wik's Garage. Anything else you want to plug?
No.
All right. Well, there it is, guys. Dur or Die. This is a podcast. We're going to start doing this. We're going to publish these every day. We're crazy like that.
It's a lot.
It's nuts.
I don't have time for that.
Nobody got time for that. Who's going to want to watch this stuff? I don't even want to watch this. I don't know. All I know is that I have a really bad toothache, and I'm drinking a lot in this episode.
Drink more. That'll help.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
And I
drown your
suggest you
sorrows
guys do too.
and your
so
pain.
Please hit the subscribe, like, and notification button so you know when a new Dur or Die comes out. Let us know in the comments below. Do you prefer coupes? Do you prefer cabs?
Mm-hmm.
If you like coupes, are you cool with cabs too, or are you like?
Are you a hater like me? We know coupes are superior in every way. So
are you a cabriophobe like my good friend Duane Wik?
Yeah.
Don't be a cabriophobe. Don't do it.
I don't even want to. Should I dare say it? It looks like a loaded diaper. I said it. Looks like a loaded diaper going down the road.
Cabriophobe. It's 2022, Dwayne. We're gonna get demonetized. We're gonna get our whole channel
You can't
shut down
unsee it
because
now
you're
that
a
I said it.
cabriophobe.
That, with the roof and everything. Yeah.
Dur Die, check in every darn day for a Dur Die during the week. We're going to try to do this every darn week or every darn day during the week. My name is John Polnik. Please check out PorscheRoadTripTV.com and check out all 8 episodes of my first season of Dur Fascination as well on YouTube channel. And then check out Wik's Garage. Mental, our good friend Mental over there, he also has Everyone Races.
Podcast.
Check out that podcast, a weekly podcast on the YouTube machine.
Everyone racers, we really try to avoid racist.
Thank you for that clarification. Yes.
Bunch of cabriophobes over there on Everyone Racers. But I feel like I convinced Mental with the whole F1 thing has no roof. Did I get through there?
that was a solid point.
Yeah, I think
Gotta tell you.
All right, guys. Thanks. See you tomorrow.